Hello friends, welcome to Developers Tube channel. My name is Ismail Sadagar and today in this video we are going to discuss about dependency injection. In this video I am going to give you introduction about the dependency injection in C#. So before going forward I want to say that please like, share and subscribe to my channel. So let's go to our topic. In this video I will cover here introduction, benefit of dependency injection, steps and practical examples. So practical example I will not give you today in this video. For understanding dependency injection, you should have knowledge of classes, C# methods and interfaces. So what is dependency injection? Dependency injection means injecting an object instead of creating the class object by using new keyword. So what it is, it means that when we are having any class in our C# program or in our project, and for example, that class needs one object for performing some business logic or some operation. So that object generally, what we do is we generally create the object by using the new keyword. But in dependency injection, instead of creating the object by using the new keyword, we inject a ready-made object into the class. So this is called as dependency injection. And here dependency means an object of the class which is required. You can see here I have given an example. I am having a class A and class A wants an object of class B. So this is my object B. So previously what we do is we create the object B by using the new keyword. So this is an old or traditional method, but in dependency injection, instead of creating the object by using the new keyword, it is injected directly into the class A. Ready-made object is injected. So this is called as dependency injection. Now, why dependency injection? So why we are going to use dependency injection? It is a big question and important question because already we are having method of creating the object by using new keyword. So because of the dependency injection, the code becomes loosely coupled and due to this software maintenance becomes easy. Loosely coupled means the classes are not dependent on each other, and because of this if any change occurs in the code, so there will not be very much changes in the code. So it is very good for maintenance purpose. It is also useful for unit testing the class. So unit testing, because of the dependency injection, unit testing becomes easy because any mocked object can be passed for testing the functionality. Mocked object means a object of the particular class is created, which we are using in a particular method or a class or any method of a class. So that object, a duplicate object is created and it is sent to the class for testing its functionality. So it becomes very easy. And because it is loosely coupled, so we create a new class of a particular type which is used in the dependency injection, so that we can inherit new class from the interface, and that class object we can send and we can test the functionality. In dependency injection, change is required only at one place where we register the dependency. So what happens in dependency injection? We specify the particular class and class of which object is required in container. And suppose that particular class object is required 100 different places in the project. So there is no need of changing that. We only need to specify the class object in the container when at the place where we are registering this object. So instead of changing 100 places, only one place should be changed. We can apply inversion of control principle in our application by using dependency injection. So what is inversion of control? Inversion of control says that a module should depend on abstraction. It should not depend on details. Means suppose I'm having one class A and I'm having a class B. So in class A, I need object of class B. So in that case, in dependency inversion principle says that the class A should not depend. The class A and class B should not depend on details. Means that we should not directly create the object inside the class, because if we directly create, then the class A here in our example becomes dependent on object B. So instead of that, we create an interface, and from that interface we inherit our class of, so that class object can be passed. We can achieve inversion of control. Inversion of control is a design principle in software development So this inversion of principle we can achieve by using dependency injection. Now we'll see what are the steps we need to follow for applying dependency injection in our project. So first we need to create the interface. So it requires the interface. Suppose I'm having a class A and I'm passing this class A to some other class A's object to other class. So in that case, I need to inherit this class A from the interface, from any interface. The second step is create a child class by implementing this interface. This child class object is dependency for its calling class, as I have told you. Install the dependency injection container like Unity or any other available. So we need here dependency injection container for performing the dependency injection, because the dependency injection container will create the object and it will inject it to particular place where it is required. In .NET Framework, application container needs to be added in the project. In .NET, containers are not already present. We need to add it. In .NET Core, default .NET Core dependency injection container is available, which can be used. The fourth step is register the class for dependency injection in container. So in dependency injection container, the particular class is registered and its interface is specified. Dependency injection approaches. There are a number of approaches which are used for performing dependency injection. One is constructor injection. So constructor injection is a methodology by which we inject our object in the class, in the constructor of the class. It is most popular and widely used approach for dependency injection. An object is supplied to the constructor of the class which requires dependency. The parameter of constructor is of type interface. Suppose I'm having a parameter A and this A is holding any object. So the type of this A parameter of the constructor will be of type interface, which we are declaring in the first step. Another approach is property injection. In property injection, the dependencies are injected through public properties of a class. The next one is method injection. In method injection, the dependencies are injected by using the parameters of the method. Now we'll discuss about what is dependency injection container. A dependency injection container is a software component that manages the creation and lifetime of services in an application. So here services stands for object. The life cycle of dependency injection refers to the process by which an object or service is created and managed by a dependency injection container. So the life cycle means when we create an object, so the object is alive and it will be there for a particular time. So this time from the creation to the disposal is called the life cycle of the object. The basic steps of the dependency injection life cycle include registration, resolution, injection, lifetime management, and disposal. So first we'll discuss registration. The application registers services that it needs with dependency injection container. So here the application registers services. Services means the class names, the objects which we require that it needs with the dependency injection container. Resolution. If a service is requested, the dependency injection container creates and returns an instance of requested service. So suppose there is in our application, there is a call to a particular object. So in that case, the request goes to dependency injection container. So the dependency injection container creates an object and returns the instance of requested service. A service is requested. Here service is object. The dependency injection container creates and returns an instance of the requested service. The dependency injection will create the object and it will return the particular object. This process is called resolution. Injection. When the service is resolved, the dependency injection container will then inject any dependencies that the object or service has into it. Now it is a lifetime management. The dependency injection container is responsible for managing the lifetime of the services it creates. The lifetime can be a singleton, scoped, or transient. So here a dependency injection container is responsible for the managing the lifetime of the services. Now next step is disposal. The dependency injection container is also responsible for disposing of services when they are no longer needed. Disposal. The dependency injection container is also responsible for disposing of services when they are no longer needed. So if an object is no longer needed, it will be disposed by dependency injection container. Dependency injection container will ensure that services are created and managed in a consistent and predictable way. It will also make sure that dependencies between services are properly managed. In .NET, there are several ways to define the lifetime of services when using dependency injection. These are singleton, transient, and scope. At the time of registering the classes for dependency injection, these services are used. Singleton. So for performing dependency injection and for saying the container that we need this particular class object, so we need to register these classes, and for registering these classes, some services are present that should be used. So out of which singleton is one. So if singleton is used, here you can see that in the example I have here shown that it is using services.add singleton method. So what happens when this add singleton is method is called? So only one object of this particular class is written. This is the interface, and this cache service class is inherited from this interface. So in our application, in the constructor or in the method, when our application found a parameter of type this interface iCache service. So this line is saying that when this is found, the parameter of type iCache service, then return the object of cache service class. So this is the registration here. This line is called the registration of the dependency injection or registering of the classes. So what will happen when we use add singleton? So only one object is created and it is written, and this object will be used throughout the application. If suppose I am having one web application, and in this web application, if I am having one cache service class and it is requested in any one of the classes, so in that case, if only one object is created and it will be throughout the application, it will be reused, it will not create any other object, only one object is shared. So you know that in web application, there are number of sessions started for different users, but for these different user, it will not create any new object. Only one object will be created and will be shared. Another method is scoped. So when scoped is used, in case of scope, for each new request, new object of the class is created and written. It will not create new object for each controller or class. For new request means new call to the API endpoint or application. So when add scope is used, so in that case, new object is created and this object is shared. So what happen if my web application, if I am logging in, so for me one object will be created and it will be shared to me. But suppose any other user logs into the application, so for that particular user, it will create a new object. So for two different users, for two different sessions, two object will be created and written. But suppose this object is requested at 10 different places in the application. So at it will not return 10 object, means 10 object to each user. Only for two user, two object will be returned. So it is called scope methodology, add scope. Another one is transient. Here for each request, new instance will be created. It will create new instance for each controller or class which is requesting. So at any place, if in my application, suppose there are 20 places it is requesting an object, so this when add transient method is used, so in that case 20 different object will be created for 20 calls and it will be shared. Whether the user is single, session is 1, 2 or 10, it will check in how many classes it is requesting for the object, and that many object will be created. So this is the transient. So this is all about dependency injection. What is dependency injection and what are the approaches used? How to we have also discussed the steps for adding the dependency injection in the project. So currently I have not shown here the practical example. In my upcoming video or in my upcoming topic, I am going to discuss dependency injection with example in Visual Studio, and we will see that how in the application how we add dependency injection methodology. The playlist link of my channel is given here, so you can go to this playlist link, and you can watch number of other videos related to C#. And at last, I want to say that please like, share, and subscribe to my channel